Talks with Toast.
It's 7:37 and we are live at the West Side and you're listening to Talks with Toast. Toast and the Mayor's in the studio right now and I have something really special to do. So what I do is I speak to you on radio, but I also live record for YouTube, and we are switching it up for our YouTube series. I've been away for a while. I'm really sorry. I had exams, but it's all out of the way and I can focus solely on getting this YouTube popping. So I was thinking, okay, what do I want to speak about today? And something quite interesting popped up in my weekly girly conversation, and we were discussing the 5 love languages. I wanted to know if people that have the same love language are more compatible than those that have different love languages. People love in different ways and people are so different, and if you understand each other, anything can work. But if you want to know more about the different love languages and also why it may not work with someone that loves in a different way than you do, please do comment, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for this whole video. And on radio right now, turn up that dial because I'm about to give you all the information that you need. There are 5 love languages. They are words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, gifts, and touch, physical touch. So I want to explain each of them, and then I'm going to give you some beware tips so you understand more about that love language. So words of affirmation, what is that? These people love through their words. They use words to uplift people and to show affection. So this could be I love you, I appreciate you, thank you, just anything in terms of building you up and showing you that they care through the words that they use. Be aware though that people that love through the use of words also unlove through the use of words. And what I mean by that is if you're having an argument with someone whose love language is words, if you use insults or negative types of words or harsh words, they're going to feel like you don't love them, you don't want to be with them, and it's going to be really hard to date them because they're going to build this barrier and this wall, and they're not going to forgive you very easily, and they won't forget the things that you say. I think in general people should just be careful about the words that they use. So the next one is physical touch. Now these are people that love to show affection through cuddling, holding hands, PDA. People that do use physical touch, they also have to understand that so many people may not use that as their source of love language, and you have to be able to have a conversation with the person that you're dating in terms of saying what are your boundaries. Just because you're very close to someone or you want to be in their intimate space doesn't necessarily mean that they are comfortable with that. So I think that you have to be very careful about physical touch as your love language. But those that are dating people that use physical touch, if you're not cuddling them, if you don't have any sort of PDA, they're going to feel like you don't love them. So please do be aware about cuddling and PDA and how important it is to others. The third one is quality time. I think this is my favorite love language ever. And I'm not talking about the time that you spend with that person. I'm talking about the undivided attention that you give in the time that you spend. Are you listening to the things that they're saying? Are you on your phone? Is your attention split? I want you to be very aware of people that, their love language is quality time. If you're with them, you're watching TV, if you're on Instagram, they're just going to feel that you don't love them, you're not paying attention to them, and it's going to cause a lot of division and arguments in your relationship. In general, I think this is the most universal love language because I think time is how you get to know each other and how to build that relationship and friendship. So definitely quality time, read up on that. The next one is acts of service. So this really is actions speak louder than words. What are you doing for that person? How are you serving them? Are you washing dishes? Are you cooking? Are you fixing that drawer that you said you're going to fix? What actual acts of service are you doing to show that you love and show affection to that person? I think acts of service can be taken in a positive and negative way because people tend to use people for doing things just because you're lazy or that person will do it for you. So I think you always have to be very careful if that is your love language. Don't use that as a way of manipulating others into getting what you want. Now I want you to be aware that actions do speak louder than words, and if your words and your actions are not on the same path, they're going to look at you and say you are a liar. They're going to feel like you don't like them and you don't care. And in general, I think that our social media generation, we always see these memes, actions speak louder than words. If he's not doing what he's saying or vice versa, kick them to the curb. So I think that a lot of people are starting to see the proof in actions more than words. And then the last one is gifts. Gifts. These people love through buying and receiving gifts. I think that it's okay to have this love language. I think that it's okay to buy gifts for people because you see them and you want to show affection through the use of buying things that they like. I do want to point out that just because you like gifts, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're materialistic. And I think people need to be very careful in labeling people as materialistic because they like gifts. No, it doesn't have to be the most expensive gift. It could literally be the chocolate that I like at Tesco. Buy me that because you like it and you know that I like it and you just wanted to show your appreciation for me. Money cannot buy you love. As J-Lo said, my love does not cost a thing. And you have to be very careful. There's a difference between using money to buy love and showing affection through the use of gifts. So those are the 5 love languages. If you want to read more on them, Dr. Gary Chapman, he's the one who actually divided them into the different categories. He has a book called The 5 Love Languages. I encourage you to read it. I'm going to put it down below as well on the YouTube. So love the book because now I know so much more about myself. So from this conversation, I was then thinking, okay, if people have different love languages, can they mesh? Can they stay together? Are they compatible? And I realized that people with different love languages always end up having the most arguments, or their relationships seem to deteriorate. And why? It's because they don't understand each other's wants and needs. The way that you're showing love may not necessarily be the way your partner receives love, so they won't feel like, oh, you know what, that person really cares about me. If your love language is gifts and theirs is time, and theirs is not time and yours is not gifts, you keep buying them gifts and they keep trying to have quality time with you, it is not working. It's clashing. In fact, I always say it like this: it's trying to fit a circle into a triangle. It just doesn't work. There's nothing wrong with a circle, there's nothing wrong with a triangle, they just don't fit, and it's fine. So my question then is, how do you make it work if you are dating someone that has a different love language? And my tip would be, I have 4 tips. I'm going to start them off with: know your first love language. That is the most important love language to you. And then find your other love languages, because people actually have multiple love languages. So know who you are. Know the way that you speak love and how you see love and how you want to receive love. If you don't know your own love language, how can you then share that and also educate someone in knowing how to love you? And then number 2 is to educate yourself about all the love languages. This will then enable your relationships, because you will be able to see that that person just loves in a different way, and you won't feel so rejected when they don't love you in the way that you want. The third tip is to be patient, honestly, and reward effort. If you see that person has tried to show you love in the way that you show love and they're just not always getting it, be patient. You know, reward them for the fact that they even tried. People don't just change toxic habits like that. It takes time for them to change, and it takes time for them to break habits and also adapt to you, because it's a whole nother human being that has grown up with a different mindset than you have. And then my last tip would be to express their love language as well. It's all well and good if they're showing you love and working on building love through your love language, but you also can't be selfish. You have to be selfless and work with them. And if they're into gifts, save up. You know, it's not easy to save up, but save up. Try it. It's all right. Spend some money on them or spend some quality time. Get off your phone if you're with your partner. Why are you on Instagram liking pictures? I don't understand it. Or words of affirmation. How are we going to argue and you're going to be calling me disgusting or ugly or whatever? Like, these things don't build love into a relationship. So I want to leave it as this. What is your love language? And if you don't know, I'm going to put a link down below. There are tests that you can actually take to figure out what your love language is. And then also, would you date someone that has a different love language than you? Personally, I would have to say no now. Even just having any type of relationship, if I just don't feel that love and I always feel rejected, it's not good for both of us. I'm always going to be complaining. So that is it so far for our YouTube, and that is it so far for radio. I hope you liked this 5 love languages compatibility talk. Up next, it is Praise the Lord.
Talks with Toast.
5 love languages. There are 5 love languages. Wow, why do I keep saying it like that? Okay, cool. Toast, say it again and be cool. Okay, cool. There are 5